All right, let's talk about AI. We're moving way beyond just asking an AI for a recipe or a fun fact. Today, we're diving into the next frontier, AI that doesn't just talk, it acts.
Look, we've all gotten pretty used to chatbots, right? You ask a question, you get an answer, it's useful for sure. But the real game changer, the big leap, is when AI stops just waiting for our instructions. What if it could actually have a goal and just go for it, all on its own? And this slide right here gets to the heart of it. A chatbot is totally reactive. It's waiting for you. But an AI agent? That's proactive. It has a goal, it can actually sense the world around it, think through a problem, and then take real steps to get that goal. It's not just answering your questions anymore, it's making decisions.
So, where do you go to test this kind of groundbreaking tech? Well, we're heading straight into one of the fastest, most complex, and highest stakes environments you can imagine, financial trading. This is like the ultimate proving ground for an autonomous system that has to make smart calls with real money on the line. Okay, so how do you even build one of these things? The best way to wrap your head around it is to think of an AI agent like a digital employee, or maybe a really smart intern. You give it a job to do, and it has a few key parts it uses to figure out how to get it done.
So, first up is the brain, the reasoning engine. This is a large language model. Think GPT-4, think Claude. This is the core intelligence. But here's the catch. On its own, it's like a genius locked in an empty room. It can think, but it can't see anything, hear anything, or do anything.
To make that genius useful, we have to give it senses. These are its eyes and ears on the world. Through things like APIs and data feeds, the agent can actually perceive what's happening in real time. It can read live stock prices, scan breaking news, whatever it needs to understand the situation.
But without a memory, the agent would basically have amnesia. It would start from scratch every single time. That's why it needs a notebook, a memory. It records what it's done, what it's learned, and what happened last time, which lets it build context and actually learn instead of just making the same mistakes over and over.
And finally, we get to the most crucial part, the tools. These are the agent's hands. Once the brain has sensed the world, remembered the context, and made a decision, the tools are what let it do something about it. Execute a trade, send an alert, update a database. This is how thinking becomes action.
So we've got the brain, senses, memory, and tools. But how do you put them all together? Well, let's explore two totally different philosophies for building these agents. We'll start with a really linear, data-first approach, the data-driven day trader.
In this setup, the whole process is a straight line. It kicks off when a user just sends a stock ticker. The agent's senses immediately kick in, grabbing two kinds of info: hard numbers from the price charts and the text from recent news. Then, a specialized AI reads through all those articles to figure out if the vibe, the sentiment, is positive or negative. All of that gets bundled together and handed to the main agent, whose only job is to look at the whole picture and make one call: buy, sell, or hold. That final answer then gets sent right back to the user.
So the main thing to get here is that this is a data pipeline. It's a very clean, step-by-step process. You can think of it like one super analyst taking in all the data, processing it in a logical order, and spitting out a single unified answer as fast as possible. But what if one super analyst isn't the best way to go? Let's check out our second approach and see how it builds a totally different kind of system, one based on a whole team of specialists all working together.
This whole philosophy is built on what's called a multi-agent architecture. So instead of one agent trying to do everything, you have a whole team of specialized AIs that can collaborate or work on their own to tackle different pieces of the puzzle.
So, let's meet the team. At the center, you've got the main trading agent. That's the core decision maker. But it's not flying solo. It gets info from a strategy agent that's double-checking signals from old-school trading rules. You've got a whale agent watching for giant market moves, and a liquidation agent on the lookout for specific market events. And maybe the most important player on the team is the dedicated risk agent.
Yeah, in this team model, safety is everything. The risk agent isn't just another voice in the room. It's the guardian at the gate. It's a circuit breaker, and it always runs first. Before any other agent can even think about making a trade, the risk agent has to give the all clear that everything is within safe limits.
So there we have it, two very different ways to build an AI trading agent. One is like a linear assembly line, the other is a modular team. But both of them are chasing the exact same goal: making smart, autonomous trading decisions.
And this slide really puts the two philosophies right next to each other.
The data-driven trader is that linear pipeline, all focused on a single unified analysis. On the other hand, the multi-agent team is a modular system where the final decision comes from specialists all working together.
So, which one is actually better? Well, the key takeaway is that there probably isn't one single right way. The best choice really depends on what you're trying to do. One is built for speed and direct analysis, the other is built for safety and specialized insights. But both of them prove that the real magic happens when you use the powerful reasoning of a large language model on top of good data and solid logic.
And that leaves us with one last, kind of wild question to think about. We are at the very, very beginning of this whole revolution. But as these tools get more common, what happens to the market when every single trader, from the biggest hedge fund down to you at home, has their own army of AI agents working for them 24/7? What does that future even look like?